Do you want me to start, Arnie?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well,
Please.
thank you very much for organizing this meeting. As always, it's so lovely to see Dad's students, colleagues, and I'm so glad you decided to have this to celebrate his birthday. I just feel that he's still with us, and at least he'll always be with us. And yesterday was my parents' wedding anniversary, and I'm sure after 6 years of being apart, they must have celebrated it together. And after 6 years of being apart, I'm sure they're both celebrating Dad's birthday together. So, from the bottom of my heart, wishing you a wonderful birthday, Dada, and lots of love from all of us. You'll always be in our hearts. And thank you for giving us everything that you did. Thankful for making us who we are and for all the love and affection that you gave us. And for teaching us so many life lessons, as I said on one of my posts, just by being who you were. And the more I think back, I learn each day the kind of person you really were. So thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, and Veera, wishing you a wonderful birthday and keep working that brain of yours wherever you are. Veer, you have to unmute, Veer.
No, you are on.
So I have a cake for Daddy. So he loves the fruit cake. So I got one. So at the end, we can light 3 candles and wish him happy birthday. Thank you once again. And I know a lot of you are from ISI. So I just wanted to show you this beautiful condolence message that ISI sent my brother and me. A lovely card with Dad's photo and a short write-up. So on behalf of us, I do want to thank ISI, the director, Shangamitra Vandapadhyay, and everyone at ISI for sending us such a lovely card. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Teja. And I see also your husband, Dr. Vincent, there. You both played a very important role. And also you are having Dr. Rao are having a lovely family. He's been so lucky to be, having such a nice, wonderful family. His son, Mr. Veera, and his daughter-in-law, we all met during the funeral. Such a lovely family. You have taken care, Professor Rao, so well. And such a nice human being. We have discussed that all those in the previous year's birthday celebrations. He's too short of 103rd birthday. That we cannot still digest. None of his students, worldwide fans, no one could digest that he is not living with us today to celebrate the birthday. And I'm going to play also during this session his message during the centenary, how lively he was. And how lively he was until 3 weeks back when I met with my family during the first week of August. And many of his students also met during the last 1 month after he won the International Statistical Prize. So
I'm truly touched by the number of people who remember him and celebrate him. Everyone's busy, everyone's got things to do, but to take the time out and want to celebrate him is a huge, huge blessing for us. Never realized how much people cared for him. It means a lot.
Many students visited, their families came to the funeral. They were all there till the end. That's a great, many wanted to come, but the timings, age-related matters. Otherwise, he lived a very great life. So, and then I would like to start quickly a small presentation with a few slides with your permission.
Before, can Vida, would you like to wish him, darling? Do you want to unmute Vida so he can wish Dad?
Of course, yeah.
He has to do it.
Vida, unmute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, I wish Dad was here for the 103rd birthday. Like to really wish him on this, and I think he's in a good place now, back with his mom, with my mom. I think it's time to celebrate his life going forward and his accomplishments. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ravira, for taking care of all the family, and then you have inspiring family, your children, grandchildren. Wish another Rao, that kind of stature, like a big scientist comes from your family, and then we're all there, continuous our support, our love for your family. As just now Dr. Teja showed the statement of the current director of Indian Statistical Institute, the Rao family is very much important for entire statistics community. Thank you so much.
Arne, you are having a presentation or?
Yeah, quick presentation.
Okay.
ठीक है थोड़ी शंख धोए धरे खुले में घुस गए बाबा शंख धोए फिर भी मौका का साबु लगा के उसके हल्का के हाथे में पकड़ धोए खेत पे पटाव धरी है जो लोग चैनल रखा था चौकी डांट रही का धोए जो ने मगर बतिया अगर हर तरह का फेंकी का क्या फेंक दे उसको तो नहीं धो सकते आया ले आएगा वो चौकी जाए सुंदर है
So these are important events, academic events, professional events during Professor Rao's life. That was Professor that was receiving of National Science Medal, and now receiving Padma Vibhushan. The Indian Prime Minister, and previous was President George Bush Jr. and Mrs. Bhargavi Rao. Yesterday they celebrated.
We can't see your screen.
Have you shared the screen?
Because we're just seeing a bar.
Yeah, we can't.
I shared already. Let me share again.
Ah,
Can you all see now?
Yeah.
okay.
They're gone again.
Now can you all see?
No, it's gone again.
No, I can see it. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, we can see, but some.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Professor Mahalanobis.
Professor Mahalanobis.
Yeah.
With former Indian Prime Minister
Indira Gandhi.
With George W. Bush Jr., President of US, receiving the National Science Medal in 2001. Year after receiving Padma Vibhushan from then Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh.
The
It is lovely
Indian
wife.
Science Medal.
Now, with then Indian President K.R. Narayan.
That's the Padma Vibhushan.
Padma Vibhushan.
This is the Guy Medal in gold.
Guy Medal in gold.
From the Royal Society.
This was around the centenary celebration. And this was very recent photo.
Yeah, this was taken by the Buffalo News when they announced his
Okay.
International Prize in Statistics. So this photograph is about 3 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. So I mean, of course, the internet, if anyone can browse through internet, many photos are there on different various occasions. It is very difficult to summarize Professor Rao's life, as David Cox, professor from Oxford, he mentioned in his tribute during the centenary. It is very difficult to summarize in a short note, a short tribute on Professor Rao. Unfortunately, back to back, we lost two statistical giants. David Cox gone in 2022 and Professor Rao in 2023. Sorry. The ASA, American Statistical Association, termed C.R. Rao as the living legend in statistics. As we mentioned in the beginning, Dr. Rao lived a happy life until his last day on the earth on 22nd August. This year, 2023, he was with his children, grandchildren at his daughter's Buffalo home in New York, US. Newspapers all over the world covered his news of winning International Statistical Prize. Again, almost all the same number of newspapers all over the world covered his passing away. Again, described a whole life. A true giant in statistics. As they say, legends never die, and they live in us. And he is a household name in statistics. So I'm going to show very few recent tributes. Then the floor is open. This is a statement, this is a very nice message sent yesterday by the current director of Indian Statistical Institute. She sent this message as just now Dr. Teja showed on the screen. Tomorrow is his 103rd birthday, that is Dr. Rao's, that she sent yesterday. He will be missed sorely. However, he will continue to be remembered as an influential figure who enriched the discipline of statistics and who helped the shape Indian Statistical Institute. For that, we remain grateful to the entire Rao family. Yeah. And then again, I took from the, we all wrote a joint article, Efron and all, during the centenary, from that article. In 1965, when statement, just copy pasted from Dr. Efron's statement. When 1965, when I was a first year Stanford postdoctoral student, Efron, awash provocative ideas from the brilliant post-war school of statisticians, Robbins, Stein, Tukey, John Tukey, David Cox, and of course C.R. Rao. The fat second edition of Rao's magisterial book on linear statistical inference, famously known as LSI, arrived at his desk. Now 55 years later, still in use. It gotten a little bit beat up. This was a big event in the Department of Statistics, not just for me. That's what the statement of Bradley Efron. Even similar statement was given during the centenary by David Cox. Says that even if it is required, even that those days in 2020, anything required in statistics, he would go first and refer Dr. Rao's book. That was the statement of Dr. David Cox. David Cox says in the same article, Efron et al., it's a privilege to have the chance of congratulating Professor Rao on his centenary, and more particularly expressing my admiration for his remarkably rich, original, influential, and wide-ranging contributions to our field of statistics. Yeah. So I've been working with Dr. Rao for the last almost a decade on the handbook of statistics, but I know the name from my teacher, Mr. Peri Sastry. He was a well-known number theorist in Vijayanagaram, in Andhra Pradesh. And he was 6 years junior to Professor Rao in Andhra University, pure mathematics. And both were taught by same teachers, Ommi Ramaswamy, Meenakshi Sundaram, and Vijay Raghavan. They're all very well-known names, and Professor Rao several times mentioned their names during his interviews. They influenced his math career. So although I was in high school, my teacher used to explain about Dr. Rao's work, although we didn't understand what they were until we reached higher studies. So he is well known during his school days. My teacher used to tell that his dad was direct teacher of C.R. Rao, my teacher's dad. He used to tell that during the second high school itself, Dr. Rao was well known in this college for his academic performances during the 8th grade, 9th grade, in the high school, intermediate, and the degree. All these days, he was well known among his juniors and among his friends. So we are all lucky, and I saw that the human value of Dr. Rao. He was always cheerful, always helpful, and he's a great leader. The leadership qualities he provided to all his students, they all know about his leadership qualities. So with that, now I request Dr. Krishna Kumar, and then followed by Dr. J.N.K. Rao, Professor J.N.K. Rao. So they both were actually instrumental for this meeting to organize through me. Although Dr. Rao left us in 22nd August, both were keen to have this big event. So that actually inspired me to organize. I want to thank the family of Dr. Rao Garu. They played important role for their support to come to this event.
And both my nephews, my brother's children, Rohit and Amar, are on.
Okay. Yes, I admitted them, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good to see them, Amar and
Rohit.
Thank you so much.
And the pride of our family, Amar's little
Kai.
son, the great grandson, Kai.
Kai, yes.
You can tell I'm the doting great aunt. So dad continues in him.
The budding Rao.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A budding Rao.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arnie. I will now. Yes. Thank you for organizing this birthday and the celebration of life of our dear Dr. C.R. Rao. In his passing, actually, we have an unexplained discontinuity in our lives, all of our lives, and also in the field of statistics. He adored and also adorned statistics. He won all possible prizes and honors in the field of statistics and its applications in science. Dr. C.R. Rao would not have said what else after doing all that. Instead, he would have continued what he was doing. I had known Dr. Rao for the past 64 years, starting in 1959 when I was started as a student. Although I was not his doctoral student, he was the one who encouraged me to go to USA to get my PhD in econometrics, a subject he laid foundations for in India just 2 years before I went to US. My wife Nirmala and I offer our personal condolences to Teja, Veera, and their families. There is now a missing person in their house, I know, in that wonderful study room of his. Some of the pictures that Arnie just showed, they decorate his study room with a desktop and pictures of Fisher. There is a screensaver on the desktop with pictures of Fisher, Mahalanobis, and several dignitaries with whom he came in contact. When I visited the family exactly 4 years ago, I could see Dr. Rao looking at the screensaver with Fisher and PC Mahalanobis on the screen in awe and gratitude to his teachers. His life is this life is just like a relay race for all of us. We all are now looking at Dr. Rao's picture with the same awe and same gratitude for what we received from him directly. The condolences offered are not only to the family of Dr. Rao, but to the much wider family of statisticians he trained, as he was a father-like figure to all of us. And it is a great personal loss to each one of us too. But I'd like to take this opportunity to suggest that while remembering and celebrating Dr. Rao today, let us have a tryst with his vision and mission. Try to work as hard as he would have worked to promote theory and applications of mathematics, statistics, and computer science. We can continue to feel close to him if we do that with his blessings. But let us do that through the C.R. Rao Advanced Institute of Mathematics, Statistics, and Computer Science. I had seen the firsthand how Dr. Rao poured his heart into establishing that institute. I am one of the founder members of the institute and work with him in writing proposals and things like that. There are a few subtle differences between Mahalanobis building ISI and Dr. Rao building C.R. Rao Institute. First of all, let me state that for Dr. Rao, both institutes are complementary and not competitive. Mahalanobis built ISI for nation building through primarily the National Sample Survey and national planning. Teaching and research in statistics were secondary, but in the hands of Dr. Rao, they became world famous. The BStat and MStat coursework and the training had become world famous. Dr. Rao's aim in establishing the C.R. Rao Institute was to pick up from ISI where it is and to spread its mission to another similar autonomous center located in the center of the country. He wanted it to be physically situated within a newly emerging central university. That location and timing were very important to him. Unfortunately, Dr. Rao was close to his 90th year when he started the institute. He did not have a godfather like Tagore to connect him with Rajiv Gandhi or Manmohan Singh, the prime ministers, like Mahalanobis was connected to Nehru. And neither did he have a finance minister as his friend, like Mahalanobis had C.D. Deshmukh. As you all know, both Nehru and Deshmukh helped Mahalanobis with the finances needed for ISI to grow. Dr. Rao, on the other hand, made significant contributions to science and technology, and Arnie had listed all the honors that he received along with the pictures. And Doctor had following and admiration of millions of statisticians all over the world. What has been missing is a catalytic force that can mobilize the gratitude of all those who received benefits from Dr. Rao's contributions to statistics and science and technology, and who are immensely grateful to him for those contributions, and then transform all that into an endowment fund to help the C.R. Rao Institute to grow to perpetuate his memory. Let us call it Dr. C.R. Rao's Memorial Fund, if you wish. I request a few selected, energetic, and charismatic scientists, engineers, managers, and public figures to come forward and constitute that catalytic force. I'm sure among his students and co-workers, some of the junior-most people, there will be some who can take the lead. Sometime back when I suggested something like this to Seturaman, he said, Krishna Kumar, you are younger than me, you should take it. And when I asked J.S. Rao, he said, I'm getting old, somebody junior should do it. So, so this, unfortunately, we haven't found someone, but I would appreciate if somebody much younger would come forward and take a lead in creating, perhaps Arnie, you or someone like you should take the initiative and come up with some kind of a small committee to mobilize all that. In my opinion, this is the best way to celebrate his life by perpetuating his vision and mission through the C.R. Rao Institute. The traditional approach of dependence on the government for the institute is an obsolete concept. One needs public-private partnership and industry and academic interaction. In my opinion, one must go beyond local and national level and beyond the government funding and go global. The successful examples such as Indian School of Business in Hyderabad, Chennai Mathematical Institute, and Madras School of Economics are not adequate enough to fulfill Dr. Rao's vision for that institute. We must aim at a global funding mechanism to pool funds from wherever Dr. Rao's work had its impact. If you look at the citation of Dr. Rao's Medal of Science by the US government, you will see what impact his contributions had. Let me give an example. The industry standard for noise reduction in the electronic communications is the Cramér Rao inequality. This year happens to be the Platinum Jubilee year for the Signal Processing Society of IEEE. And IEEE's, that the Signal Processing Society's Platinum Jubilee comes after the Platinum Jubilee of C.R. Rao Cramér inequality. Most of you may know that IEEE had honored Dr. Rao in 2022 for his contributions to signal processing with an honorary membership of IEEE. IEEE recorded an oral history of Dr. Rao. So my suggestion is, can IEEE and a confederation of electrical and electronic industries at a global level raise funds to support C.R. Rao Institute? The IT industry is making tremendous strides in artificial intelligence and machine learning, all of which use advanced statistical tools developed by Dr. Rao. Can the IT industry at the global level pay a tribute to Dr. Rao and his work by supporting C.R. Rao Institute? The banking and finance industries use considerable amount of statistical methods. Let me ask, can the MasterCard or Visa card charge just a trifle, 0.001% of its transaction value to be contributed to C.R. Rao Institute? With these suggestions, I offer my respect to Dr. Rao for his enormous contributions and make a humble appeal to all of his students and admirers to perpetuate his memory by contributing funds to the C.R. Rao Institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Now I request Dr. J.N.K. Rao.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Arnie, for inviting me. I was not a student of Indian Statistical Institute, but I have known Professor Rao for many years. So I'm going to be more lighthearted and talk about personal reminiscences, also with Teja. So let me just give you a few instances. I gave a more detailed thing in my presentation on the 100th birthday. So I'll read a little bit from there to save time. My exposure to C.R. Rao's early pioneering work. I was doing a master's degree in statistics from Bombay University during the period 54-56. In the first year itself, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was exposed to the famous Cramér Rao lower bound and the Rao-Blackwell theorem. And he was 25-year-old when he wrote that paper, in Calcutta's Mathematical Bulletin, which incidentally was the nomination for getting the International Statistics Award. So, and then also there was this book, Advanced Methods in Statistical Research, in Biometric Research, which was regarded as a Bible. And we had only two books at that time, C.R. Rao's book and Cramér's book. So that's it. We learned a lot from his book. Now let me give you some instance. Chance meeting with C.R. Rao. This is an interesting one. In the summer of 1955, I went to my hometown, Eluru in Andhra Pradesh for holidays. I had a great passion for cricket, although I've never excelled at cricket. That's unfortunate, but I still have passion for cricket. I had a close cricket friend in Eluru, and I was playing cricket with him one fine day. I talked to him about my graduate studies and mentioned that C.R. Rao was my hero in statistics. I was frozen when he told me that Professor Rao is his maternal uncle and that he was passing through Eluru railway station the next day on his way back to Calcutta after visiting Madras to conduct some examinations there. He also asked me if I would be interested in meeting him. I don't know where he is now. Of course, I said yes, but I could not sleep the whole night, thinking about meeting the great statistician. The next morning, I met Dr. Rao at the railway station. Even though the train stopped only 10 minutes at the station, and several family members were present, including his sister. Incidentally, his sister took care of him because his parents died quite young when Dr. Rao was young. His sister, Dr. Rao, was kind enough to speak to me, even though there were so many of his close relatives are there, after his nephew told him that I was doing a master's degree in statistics. I will never forget my first interaction with him. Then I found out from Dr. Rao's nephew that two famous test cricketers, the legendary C.K. Naidu and his younger brother C.S. Naidu, were Dr. Rao's maternal uncles. This was exciting news to me, given my passion for cricket. Okay, so the next thing is I was visiting Indian Statistical Institute in 1968-69 with my family, and that's where I got to know him much closer and his family. We lived in the same campus, and every day the ritual to go around the Amrapali lake and discuss all kinds of things. And we used to meet family very often, and I think Teja and my wife Neela became and Teja was very young that time. Okay. So that was another experience I had with him. And then I just want to keep it brief. There are a couple of research items which we discussed, which led to a couple of famous papers of C.R. Rao. I won't go into that. Then I used to meet him at many conferences, and he invited me to several of those he organized. But I want to mention the last time I saw him, visit to Buffalo. My wife and I visited Dr. Rao and Mrs. Rao in Buffalo on our way to attending a 2014, this is conference celebrating Malai Ghosh's 70th birthday in Washington, D.C. Teja insisted that we stay in their house, and it was a memorable visit. As soon as we entered the house, Dr. Rao took me straight to his study room. Didn't waste any time. showed the draft of a paper he was writing on the computer. Look at his focus. It's truly amazing that he continued to be active in research at 94. And I was very fortunate to have attended the presentation of the International Statistical Prize in Ottawa, and Vera and family were there. It was very nice to see. Incidentally, I should make a comment here. You know, great people postpone their death until a special event happens. This is exactly what Dr. Rao did. He died a month after that. And with that, he got almost every major prize in the world. And this is a great satisfaction because this prize is not given posthumously. So you can see the coincidence there. So it's my great pleasure and privilege interacting with Professor Rao over the years. My wife Neela and my son Sunil, who is also happened to be a statistician, joined me in sending our greetings and very best wishes on his 130th birthday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. J.M.K. Rao. Yeah. Now the floor is open. Any friends and family members of Dr. Rao that come and raise the hand or come directly to the screen and speak.
Professor Prakash Rao is here, I think. Is he?
Okay.
MB?
Oh, hello.
Hi,
Yeah,
MB.
Marepalli.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rao.
The person who entertains everyone at
Yeah,
statistics
come.
conferences.
Come on, please.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. It's I would like to say a few words. A couple of days ago, I gave a talk on the history of statistics and role of Fisher and C.R. Rao in shaping up the subject. Okay. So statistics as a discipline, as a scientific discipline, came on its own in 1930s, or even you can say that 1920s. And who are the people who are responsible for such a status? I started with Fisher and followed by C.R. Rao. So advent of 1945 paper in which he laid out three crucial ideas in statistics, propelled the subject into limelight. I'm a statistician now. How come I became a statistician? Okay. Scientific discipline is recognized 30s and 40s. C.R. Rao had immeasurable influence in shaping of the subject. Okay. I guide students in statistics, PhDs and masters, and at the background, C.R. Rao stands outstandingly. That's all I want to say. Thank you, guys. Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. M.B. Rao.
Yeah.
And now,
Can I get the cake?
Anyway, yeah.
Dr. Jamil, you want to speak? Meanwhile, that cake is arranged.
Jamil.
Yeah, I will, sure. First I would like to, say that I call Teja my akka, my sister. I know him from 1982 when I came first time to US. I did my bachelor's, master's in ISI. Of course, I didn't get a chance in Kolkata or Calcutta to meet the Professor Rao. But I met when he used to visit akka. And, I just want to tell you, I haven't seen anyone who take care of their parents so much like my akka Teja. I mean, I hope that all the children, they can do if they can. I wish they can do like what she did. Anyway, I mean, I met Professor Rao many times. I mean, also, we used to, Akka and me and others in Buffalo, we used to go to every weekend parties and all those because Akka Teja she is one of the founder member of the Tribeni cultural organization of Indian arts. And I used to visit, of course, all the artists, whether Bilayat Khan or Pandit Jasraj or Haripesa Chaurasia, whoever, and Akka used to take care of me. Even I stayed 1 year as her tenant in the upstairs. So, and I met Professor Rao. We are having some of us in 2012 in Niagara Falls. We are meeting, and Akka and of course Professor Rao visited us in the restaurant. We had lunch together. So I had a very fond memory. I had to keep that way. Of course, Professor Rao has lived a very nice life, including, in fact, Akka's, his wife too. So I would like to say that, I'm very grateful and I'm honored to call Teja Akka and have met Professor Rao. Thank you.
I'm going to go get the cake now.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Dr. Jam.
Thanks.
Till the thing is there, I would also like to, during the time when I was a faculty at Indian Statistical Institute, 2000, 2006 to...
There was a delay in starting. He started. So you...
Yeah, I'm there now. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm there.
Yeah. So during those period, 2005, 2004, 2012, that period, Professor Rao used to visit ISI Kolkata almost every year with his wife. And I remember, the ISI family was highly respected, and, they used to take care so well. He was always given a hero worship during those periods when he used to come to ISI with his family. And whenever he gave a talk in a geology auditorium, the old geology auditorium, I remember not only the faculty and the students, the office staff also used to come and listen to Professor Rao's talks. That was the craze. And he was given always, taken very well taken care by the ISI Kolkata, the staff at the guest house. They used to come, he was always busy meeting the people, always the gardeners, other staff. They used to come and meet his family. That was the love shown by ISI also to Professor Rao and his family. Yeah, if the cake is ready, maybe we can have the cake now.
Let me introduce my husband. It's Vincent O'Neill. He's heard about a lot of you, and I was blessed that he adored Daddy, and Daddy was like totally, what should I say? Adored him. So I'm blessed that both of them were very, very fond of each other.
And thank you, Arnie, and thank you all for being here to celebrate this extraordinary man. I didn't know him as a statistician. I just knew him as a beautiful human being.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vincent. And thanks for your voice during the centenary celebrations. You gave a great voice to the film.
The documentary, yeah.
Yeah, he narrated the documentary.
Thank you. Yeah, is the cake ready, Dr. Teja?
Yeah, here it is. Okay, someone has to sing. Who has a good voice? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Dr. Rao.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
Dr. Rao.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to Dr. Rao.
you.
So Dad, here's to you. Sending all our love and best wishes to you and Mom. We'll blow. Thank you.
This was less challenging, I think, for the 100th centennial. We lit up 100 candles.
Yeah.
She started with 100 plus, now with just 3 candles.
I know, and it was Professor Efron who first wished him saying, light 100 candles on your birthday. And I thought, what a beautiful idea. So Professor Krishna Kumar had sent a beautiful cake for his birthday. We did light 100 candles. The entire family was there. My nephews, my brothers, so we all lit these candles. And even though it was COVID, I did do a birthday celebration in the yard for him. And each table I had 10 candles. I had several groups and they all lit 10 candles each and we brought it all together for his 100th birthday on one table. So we took up Professor Efron's suggestion. Yeah, 3 candles was easier to blow. So thank you all very much and happy birthday.
Thank you, Akka.
And as usual, it's lovely to see all of you.
Thank you. It's
You
nice.
know, with each of you, I have a recollection of a certain part of my life.
Thank
And
you.
once again, thanks to ISI.
Prakash Rao, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think, yeah, see, I have no words to express. That's the whole issue. I miss him so much.
Yeah.
So, but still, I say, I don't know how many in the world got prizes at the age of 103 and then write papers at the age of 100 and being a scientist recognized, at such an age. And I think in the whole wide world, I think probably Professor C.R. Rao was the only one who did that great feat. Because I have known him as a student from the age of 17. This after I finished my master's in mathematics from the same department where Professor Rao did his master's. On my way to Calcutta, I met Professor K. Nagabhushanam, who was also professor for Professor C.R. Rao. So Professor Nagabhushanam gave me a letter to be given to Professor Rao as soon as I go to Calcutta. So, but then a student of age 17 to meet Dr. Rao in his office in RTS is something which is unimaginable. So with I was so scared to go inside the room, but then I gave it to him. He just looked at it for a minute, and then of course he said, okay, you go ahead and go to the class. So then later on, of course, he was our teacher. He taught us small sample theory, which is now called linear models. And then after some time, after a few years, I went to the United States and I came back. I was at IIT Kanpur. And then I wrote to Professor Rao that I would like to come to ISI again. So then he sort of offered me the position at ISI Delhi Center. So I was his colleague for several years at Delhi Center. And of course, later on, he told me one day that he is planning to have this C.R. Rao Institute in Hyderabad. So he invited that I should join that institute. So, but in the beginning, for some reason, I did come to Hyderabad. I was at the University of Hyderabad till about 2012. Then after Professor Rao invited me to C.R. Rao Institute, I joined C.R. Rao Institute as a Ramanujan Chair Professor. And then I continued there, and for all of you, I'm still connected with this institute. I'm attached to that institute even now as an INSA honorary scientist. So, but then I think in 2013, Professor Rao was here. That was International Statistical Year. And you should see him how active he was to arrange that conference at that time. And I got to know him more there. And in fact, he also delivered a memorial lecture in memory of my parents at University of Hyderabad that year. The last time I saw again over Zoom was we were in Seattle last year with other few of our other friends, including few people except Krishna Kumar couldn't make it. So then we saw Professor Rao on Zoom, and I expressed that I am editing a special issue of Journal of Quantitative Economics in honor of him. So I thought this year I will also do something related to that, and I propose that the government of India should award him Bharat Ratna. So I have made some efforts in that direction. In fact, I wrote an article on June 29th in a New Indian Express proposing this thing. But then, of course, it didn't happen, and it's really unfortunate. So, but then, his work speaks for himself. So there is no other thing is necessary. Of course, he got so many awards, honorary doctorates. Even that is a record, I think. And I express my, condolences for what happened recently, and my best wishes, and a happy birthday to Professor Rao from here. Thank you very much.
I see Professor Shastri is on. You had said that you'd requested people send their thoughts about Daddy or their recollections, and that would be wonderful if they send it to you, because as I said, there's so much more we are learning about Dad now. And I think Professor D.C. Rao had written about Dad and his interaction with Dad. So if some of you would like to, that would be wonderful. It's a place where we could collect information about him, which is of a more personal nature, which we truly treasure. And hello, Pathak, Professor Pathak, nice to see you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Prakash. Yeah, can I invite Dr. Aditya Bandyopadhyay? I saw he's logged in sometime back. Dr. Bandyopadhyay, you're there? He organized a very nicely recent meeting on Dr. Rao at ISI Kolkata.
I don't know if he's...
Dr. Bandyopadhyay, he logged in. Let me see, he's still there.
It's good to see you both. And trust you're doing okay.
Thank you.
Although I'm a statistician, but I remember Mrs. Rao and Dr. Rao more on a personal level, and their visit to us in 1990 when our daughter was born. And the most memorable moment when they planted a tree in memory, of our daughter. So it was a beautiful time, and I remember our time in India, and I deeply appreciated the warmth, the friendship that they showed to me, who just happened to be PK's wife. But I guess they must have liked him, and by osmosis liked me. Thank you so much.
That is Professor P.K. Pathak and his wife.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Nice to see you.
Oh, the same here.
Yeah.
I remember you, Krishna Kumar.
Yeah, I remember.
Very well, yes.
Yeah. Our Rao's hostel is a very another memorable
indeed.
place where we used to meet. That is Cook Rao.
Cook Rao.
We used to meet Cook Rao at our mess.
Yes.
So P.K. Pathak, myself, Prakash Rao, all of us
Yes. I think we used to have a joke that all those individuals will eventually go to America,
Yeah,
including Rao.
right. Which we did. I
Which he
understand.
did, yes, indeed.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to talk?
I have written a personal account of my interaction with Dr. Rao. And Teja, I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think Teja and Arnie and so some of us should collect all these things starting from the birth centenary event to today. For example, Professor K.R. Parthasarathy had presented Dr. Rao a paper on his 101st birthday.
Yeah.
And as Prakash Rao mentioned, there was a Zoom session we organized on his 102nd birthday. Teja, you were there. We organized that. So some of all these events put together, it would be nice to bring them together and maybe disseminate to all of students of Dr.
And his grandchildren and great grandchildren, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they'll remember the legacy.
Yeah.
Great grandfather and great great grandfather.
It would be a treasure. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I think Professor Shastri was collecting, I saw an email from him requesting people to send. So to anyone,
Yeah,
it should really be nice.
Yeah.
In fact, last week in France, there was a annual meeting of, it's a global meeting annually they conduct in France. It's called Geometry and Statistics. So that was 6th annual meeting. That meeting, they dedicated the meeting in the honor of Dr. C.R. Rao.
Can I speak, please?
Yes, N.S. Shastri. Yes, please.
I want to say about my gratitude to Professor Rao. It is very difficult for me to speak in the sense that my voice is not clear nowadays because of my Parkinson. Although I am suffering from Parkinson, I made a big effort to see that Professor Rao gets his doctorate now. Many of you, like Krishna, Nath, Grace, Rao, Veerat, Prakash, know that the effort I mounted for getting Bharatratna to him for the second time. First time I did that effort 2 years back. But each time, the singing is such that when I made the first time effort with Modi, Professor Prime Minister Modi, from that time, a year onward, he stopped recommending for Bharatratna anyone, not only this. And that came in the way of Professor Rao, recommending Bharatratna on his 100th birthday. That was for celebrating 100th birthday. We mounted that effort from senior officers of the Indian Statistical Service. We mounted that effort that time. We were almost succeeding. The minister wrote very strongly voted him, saying his contribution to the Indian system was very strong. And Malana Bish was still there. And Malana Bish was, in one way, the father of statistics in India, official statistics. But behind him, the entire worker was operated by Dr. C.R. Rao. And here I must say something about my personal experience with Dr. C.R. Rao. Now, Dr. C.R. Rao is responsible for me getting PhD in ISI Calcutta.
in sample surveys. How it happened, I tell you. I was doing research on a subject like estimation of unbiased estimation of ratio regression product estimation developed by Mickey. There was only one paper by Mickey at that time, and that subject was given to me when I was a student in the Kosa Institute in the Institute of Agricultural Research Statistics in Delhi. Incidentally, I was selected. I was went to the same department of mathematics where Professor Rao teaches me mathematics, which are under the same professor. And I was just 1 year junior to A.L.S. Prakash Rao. And as my senior went there, I also followed him to ISI after writing the entrance test. But my fortunate or unfortunate happening is only 1 year, which are Rao was my class teacher on small sample series. But I cherish the lectures he gave to me, gave to us every time only starting from data and then developing the technique for solving the problem of how to analyze that small sample data. He never started the class without first attending about the data. And from that time onwards, I know that how much importance it is for data in data collection as such. When second year I went to the Social Institute of Agricultural Statistics. And there I established a record. And from there I got my diploma. And the subject of my diploma thesis was this product and unbiased estimators. Now on that, because it was not open up, I developed my results only for myself, and then not published anything at all from those results. Because if I open up, everybody will jump on it. Then my point is, when I showed the results in a manuscript form with my own handwriting, Dr. C.R. Rao, when he came to Delhi as the ISI director, he said that you will get a PhD out of these results. But unfortunately, we did not have any guide. So I will provide Dr. Rao as one nominal guide and go to ISI Calcutta 6 months. I will tell you, at that time, the government of India gave only study leave with half salary. They were having a family of 3 children. I could not sustain them without my salary. So Professor C.R. Rao was kind enough to provide me a research scholarship for 7 months, paying the remaining half salary as research scholarship of PhD. Not only that, now my point is, at that time, Professor C.R. Rao in the PhD and DSc committee gave a relaxation to me for residential status. And he managed to get my thesis examined, my manuscript examined by 2 foreign experts who said that I will get a PhD out of it. Now I got a PhD like that in the ISI with under Rao and Professor T.J. Rao helped me in writing the thesis. And C.R. Rao helped me in getting the results demonstrated, empirical results demonstrated in the Honeywell conclusion at that time in Calcutta. Now my point is, with a student like this, later on, I drifted to the behavioral statistics. From there, I shifted to the official statistics by writing the first examination of the competitive examination of the UPSC. And C.R. Rao was there in the interview in the UPSC selection. And he immediately decided recognized me as a student, and he did not ask me any question. He said that I know it, and there is no need to put the question. And unfortunately, I was selected as the number one in the first examination, the competitive examination. And then I became an ISS officer. From there, I wrote his thesis. And my point is, he was responsible for my getting PhD while being in the government system. And he asked me to come out in the government and join ISI. I said no, sir, because I wanted to demonstrate that being in government also, you can get a PhD from ISI Calcutta. And I said that this is a role model for my junior. Then from then onwards, the chance came to me when I became the Director General of the National Sample Survey Organization in the Ministry of Statistics, the highest post I occupied. I was the most senior most member of the Indian Statistics Administration at that time. Then Professor S.V. Rao, Director of the ISI, Calcutta, he brought me a proposal saying that Professor Rao should be recommended for Padma Vibhushan. I said, this is the best chance for me to repay my introduction to Professor Rao. And I processed that case in the government. And Arun Chaudhary was my minister. And Akhil Bihar Vajpayee was my prime minister at that time. And both of them supported my suggestion. And we managed to get Padma Vibhushan C.R. Rao like that at that time. His family came along with his daughter and wife to receive that award. So I met the secretary at that time, and his wife also was there. And we were very happy that he to be awarded for Padma Vibhushan like that. Now, on quoting that, I tried my best to get problem for personal scientific when he was having it under 100 years completed. But I told you that we failed at that time. Again, after he got the international award recently, and Professor B.L.S. Prakash Rao suggested to me I should revive my effort in the government space. And I revived my effort. And we were about to succeed. I'm telling you, if only he lived for another few days until his birthday, we could have got him at that time. Because I moved my to international and national people. And after that station, some affairs minister, I wrote to him personally, and I was told that he would have made a meeting with the minister along with the World Bank president now, Mr. Barga. But unfortunately, he passed away before that occurred. Now, I don't know what will happen to the proposal that I sent to the government. And if the government is kind enough to give him posthumous with Bharatratna, I will be the most happy man, along with B.L.S. Prakash Rao. The effort that will be. So the country is doing things like talk here. And I'm a Parkinson patient. My voice is not clear to everything, and my body is not able to move out of my phone. But then I am still active intellectually, and I will be able to do anything meant here now. If only the support is there from other friends, like Mark and the. Thank you very much for listening to this story and my acquaintance with the Dr. C.R. Rao. And I'm personally grateful to him, and I condole his death from my heart and wish happiest thing is how the son of looking after him so well until the age of 102. I know personally how difficult it is for an old man to live beyond 80 years, something like that. So I'm experiencing that situation. Same way, my children is me here. That's why I'm able to contribute still to the subject. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much.
Shalab joined just now. Do you have anything to talk, Shalab?
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Professor Kumar. Means unfortunately there was a strong rain which is going on for the last 5 hours at IT Kanpur, and it's a very rare event that we have a power outage. But we have today, so that is why I'm using my cell phone light to show my face. And yeah, means every year I remember that for the last almost 17 to 18 years, every year I had wished Professor Rao a very happy birthday, and he was very prompt in replying. And at my personal behalf, I'm very grateful to him that he has given me an opportunity to co-author one of his book. And at that time, I was so young, and I couldn't believe that a senior professor like Professor C.R. Rao will allow me to co-author a book with him. And still, I remember, and I gave that example to my student that opportunity knocks only once. I was doing my postdoc at University of Munich, and my postdoc guide, he was with me, and we were simply having a cup of coffee in the afternoon. And I was discussing about econometrics and regression analysis, linear models, etc. So he just listened to me, and he simply took up his phone and he simply called Professor Rao. Even I didn't knew what he's doing. And he simply says that Professor Rao, I have a young man from India and he has some ideas, and these are the ideas. Would you like to co-author a book with us on this linear models? And within 1 minute to 2 minutes, he said yes. Although I had met Professor Rao earlier, but I never thought in my dream that Professor Rao will agree to allow me to write a book with him. So that was a very good example for me that when somebody is really elder, what does this mean? Elder means we have to support our young generation, we have to support our youngsters, and even I was means much younger, about 35, 36 years old, and he was 86 at that time. So I really salute him and I really miss him. And he always encouraged me to do something. Even he encouraged me to apply for this ISA award. And he himself said that, oh, you don't worry, I will write you a recommendation letter, etc., etc. So those are the things which I have learned from him, that how to become an elder person in the life, not only in the family, but in the academics. So I will always remain grateful to him. And it is not possible for me to accept that he is no more here. It means for me, it means for the last 12, 14 years, I have not seen him. So in my memory, he will always be there. People are telling that he passed away, but in my memories, he has not passed away, and he will never pass away. Thank you.
For some of you, I have a clarification. He was saying how young he is, and for C.R. Rao to co-opt him as a co-author. Shalab's father, he is a famous econometrician, Professor V.K. Srivastav of Lucknow, and is a good friend of mine. So you can now guess his age. He's the son of a friend of mine.
Okay. Yeah, now
So on this account, Professor Krishnakumar, I can share a very interesting incident which nobody might be knowing. It was, I think, in 1986, there was an Indian Science Congress at Lucknow University. At that time, Professor Rao was at Lucknow University, and he visited our home. And the best part was that my father had bought a car, and when he was going to drop him at his guest house, the car broke down, and Professor Rao had to push the car also. So that incident, that incident nobody knows, but it happened before me, so I know. So that was on the lighter side. So we have very nice memories of him.
Thank you, Dr. Salab. I agree with you. The responsibility Dr. Rao, himself takes care about leadership. That's what I spoke about the leadership qualities of Dr. Rao. He himself comes forward to encourage the young generation. So now I request Dr. Kunal Kishore from Nepal to give his message. Dr. Kunal.
Namaskar. I am Kishore Khanal, Assistant Professor of Statistics at Kathmandu University School of Medical Sciences, Nepal. Presently, I am working as an Associate Director at the Community Engagement Division, Office of Vice Chancellor, Kathmandu University, Nepal. I studied his two books during my MSc Statistics course at Tribhuvan University, Central Department of Statistics, Nepal. The first one was Linear Statistical Inference and its application, and the second one was Advanced Statistical Methods in Biometric Research. During that time, I studied his two famous theorems, Cramér-Rao lower bound, and the other one is Rao-Blackwell theorem. Both of them were very important from examination point of view. On his 100th birthday, I wrote an email requesting him to take his interview, and he agreed for that. I sent him my set of questions, and with the help of Teja ma'am, I was able to get answers for some of my questions, and I am planning to publish them on some journal or magazine. During the processes of taking his interview, I have very good email conversation with Professor Rao, and I found him very cooperative, humble, and encouraging. At present, I am remembering and missing Professor Rao a lot. This is a great loss for all of us and for the academia, and at this time, many of us are in a painful moment. Professor C.R. Rao will always be remembered, read, researched, and respected by the contemporary and future generations because of his great academic contributions. I'd like to express my sincere condolence to the entire family members. Thank you.
If I may say, Professor Khanal, I know I've been in touch with you off and on, and you had some wonderful, wonderful intuitive questions. Unfortunately, by the time we got those questions, Daddy was not in a position to recollect a lot of things. And that's one of the reasons I couldn't send you back all the answers, because I didn't want it to be me answering the questions from what I remember. But they were just wonderful questions, and maybe some of the others, if you send it to them, would be able to give you the answers.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Khanal. Can I request now Dr. Yehua Wu, Amy is there from York University, Canada. Dr. Amy, you are there?
Oh, Amy, yeah, I'm here. No, I think you guys have so much about Dr. Rao, and he's my supervisor, and I love him and I respect him very much. His passing away making me extremely sad. So I think now it's celebrating his birthday. I want to share some nice photo with you. Actually, I put that into the chat, and I think that's the cool photo. So we want to memorize in a nice way. So I think that's why I want to share some photo with you. Can I share?
Yeah, I see it here.
Yeah. Oh, you have to give me permission to share screen.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I got. Oh, you can go to the chat. You can see the visitor Rao and the Dr. Rao, because Dr. Rao, I think he has just have a face of science, and he has the barefoot and one with the sock. Yeah. That's why he showed me. So I said, could I take pictures? So I took a picture of that. That's his moment, so he just like, it's not a super guy, but he's so approachable and so very nice, extremely nice. But I can't share screen, that's why. So otherwise I make it bigger.
Oh, wow.
So I can share? I'm not sure.
You can share.
Oh, no, I can share. Okay, hang on. Hang on, let's go all this way. Just a minute. Let me stop share. Let me share my PDF. What's my PDF? It'll be here. Why go this way? Hang on. Let me try to. I don't want to share desk. I want to share my. Oh, did you see the photo with the?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because mine looks so strange. So
You could see photo.
Yeah.
yeah. So this one, it's he just like he posts as he did with I guess the famous photographer took his pictures, the faces of science. So this one.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's that he posed for me. So I took the picture. And then you have another ones here. So this is they both together. And because every time, actually I'm with Dr. Rao usually twice a year. And so most of the time when I go there, sometimes I can I have a photo with you? He said, yes, please. So that's we had a photo, you know. So he just posed as he did in that famous picture in the face of science. That face of science have lots of famous people. Actually, they're all big guys. Okay, in all the science society, and Professor Rao as a statistician is there. So I'm so proud of him. And this is and also he's no, this one is we watch the did you see this one, three of us there?
Yeah.
Oh, this is one we went to see. I think teachers student have a dancing performance. Dr. Rao invited me to attend this her show, and we are so happy. So that's what we had for together. I guess he give you something. So that's why I'm holding that one, you know. So okay, yeah, and I miss him so much. So it's a pity. I should have been asked teacher for permission. I should have just go there to visit him, and I didn't. I waiting for teacher to reply, so I didn't go. I feel so sorry. It's terrible,
Yeah.
sorry thing. You know, I should.
Unfortunately,
just go there
I think
to
I
us.
was, yeah.
Huh?
Unfortunately, I think I was so caught up those days with everything happening.
Yeah, I understand. I should
Yeah.
just go. You know.
Yeah, you should just come.
Yeah.
Like home to you.
But I went for the funeral. I'm so sad. I was so sad, extremely sad. Okay. Well, okay, I just want to say that much. I miss him very much. And happy birthday, Dr. Rao. Okay, that's
posted pictures, Vincent, and messages.
Yeah.
See?
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Ravindra Khatri, I think he's not there. Actually, he's gone to, online to Pune to give a talk on C.R. Rao inequality. Cramér Rao inequality. So I think Dr. Khatri was logged in, but he's not there. If he's there.
I'm here.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
I thought you
I'm
gone
here.
to Pune.
Yeah.
Give a talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, in my case, C.R. Rao was my PhD advisor at the University of Pittsburgh. And I had taken several courses from him. So I'll talk about him as a teacher. So there's no doubt that as students, we were really at awe with him. And when his name itself can be so overwhelming, learning from him can be really nerve-wracking. So I should admit that, yes, we were quite nervous, at least early on in the class. But Professor Rao was perhaps aware of that, and he was able to empathize with us. So actually in the beginning, when I was attending my class, later on after the class, he came to me and asked, did you understand it? So he had that kind of, persona that he will come and talk to students. He cared. So during his lectures, he would make us comfortable and at ease by his humor, his jokes, and obviously his teaching style. And his teaching style was not very usual one. It was very unusual. Okay? So in some sense, his classes were like a beautifully directed play where he was the main director and we were unwillingly or unwittingly playing the characters when we were called on the blackboard to prove the theorems and sometimes the results named after him. And you can imagine how nervous we will be. But like a central character in a play who moves the story. So he was the really one moving the story, moving the class. He was the one controlling the discussion and theme of the topics that were being discussed. But at the same time, he was allowing others, the students, and also some of the faculty members who were sitting in the class to be important part of it. So, you know, it was really very unusual, but a good way of learning the subject and certainly learning from the master. And we are not just allowed to take lecture notes. Instead, what he will do, he will say, after taking notes, one of us, and he will select randomly one of us, and ask, improve on these notes, fill in all the unproven assertions, and add all the missing steps in the proof, make photocopies, and distribute all those complete notes to the entire class. So that used to be our homework. So this was perhaps the best way to learn, and to learn from the master himself. In fact, it was from him where not only did I learn real statistics, but I also learned how to teach it. So thank you, Professor Rao, for doing that. So post-PhD, when we met often, sometime in conferences at the Pittsburgh, in Penn State, and he visited me at the North Dakota State University, and then he visited me at Oakland University 3 times. So I got to know him better, and I appreciated much more of what he has done and how important, what kind of important work he has done. As a student, you kind of concentrate on your thesis, you learn a lot, but when you go to conferences and you see that he's a person and how people hold him in high regard and they talk about his work, you really begin to appreciate. And certainly I cannot deny that during the, when I had a faculty job, I had immense pressure, okay? Because people had high expectation from me because I am a student of C.R. Rao. Okay? So in some way, they certainly made me do better than what I could have done otherwise. Okay? So his research work has certainly influenced my own work, and his encouragement did give me a confidence to explore new research ideas. And I should say, I have put a picture here in the chat. On personal level, he really loved my daughter. Okay, so you can see the picture with RK on the chat. He is with my daughter when she was, I think, maybe 14-month-old or so. It was in Greece. And always when we would meet, he would ask about my daughter, how she's doing and what she's doing. And my daughter obviously is now grown up, but when he visited me, he gave a big poo. He gave her a big poo, and that still sits in her room. Still, she's now obviously she lives elsewhere, not with us, but her room, that poo is still there. And also, I should say another kind of sweet memory. So when C.R. visited, basically I took him and Mrs. Rao both for lunch. My daughter came along, and we went to a South Indian restaurant. So Dr. Rao and Mrs. Rao asked my daughter, it was dosa we ordered, and it was kind of spicy. So she asked, do you want to eat it with sugar? And my daughter said, yeah, yes. And to this date, my daughter eats dosa with sugar. Not with chutney and all, but with sugar. So I do have fond memories of Professor Rao. I do miss him as my teacher, as my supervisor, as researcher, and certainly personally as my father figure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khatri, for the wonderful tribute.
Dr. D.C. Rao is here. He was a student, PhD student of Dr. C.R. Rao. Would you like to talk, D.C. Rao?
Thank you, Dr. Krishna Kumar. It's indeed a privilege listening to all of you. So let me just take a minute or two to focus, amplify some of your comments in terms of how much he cared, how much he really cared and loved his students. I was a BStat student. I did BStat, MStat, PhD at ISI, graduating in 1970. Dr. Rao taught a short course on statistical genetics at the advanced levels of BStat, and that really captured my attention in a very big way. And I just decided, maybe naively, immaturely, for whatever it's worth, I decided I will pursue statistical genetics for a career. So I talked to Dr. Rao several times. I wanted to do MStat at ISI, but it did not have a specialization in statistical genetics. He said, there's no way ISI can offer that. Who will teach? And he was very, of course, humble, modest. But repeatedly, when we approached, myself and a classmate of mine, the late Ranaji Chakraborty, repeatedly approached him. He finally decided to offer MStat specialization in statistical genetics, advanced probability and mathematical genetics. That's what it was called. And I cannot thank him enough for caring that much to offer that specialization, because that changed my rest of my career. And I'm eternally grateful for that very important move he made. And then one of my classmates later told us, Dr. Arthanari, he just reminded me recently that Dr. Rao did the same thing again by offering operations research specialization in MStat for him and a couple of his classmates. So this shows just how much he really cared, even when he felt that there were challenges, numerous challenges and limitations in terms of the teaching resources. He went out of his way to accommodate the interests of his students. I was very privileged to be his PhD student. To make a long story short, it's only because I was Dr. Rao's PhD student, the leading statistical geneticist gave me 8 years of opportunity to do a postdoctoral research, early research with him. And that led me to a very important position I was subsequently offered at Washington University in St. Louis. All this would never happen had I not been Dr. Rao's student. As I think one of the others spoke a minute ago, being Dr. Rao's PhD student puts you under the spotlight. You always worry, will I be bringing big disgrace to the legend? Because we have to live up. We cannot. I will speak for myself. I never lived up to being a student, but I nonetheless immensely benefited being a student. So thank you very much, Dr. Rao. Without you, I cannot imagine what I would be. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Krishna Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, Jaya.
Yeah. So I'm Jaya Biswal at UNC Charlotte. I teach mathematical finance here. We have a joint program with the College of Business, and we are very successful. We are ranked 10. We just bypassed Cornell University last year. But Dr. Rao was here on July 2010, and I was the host. A lot of senior professors came, and met him, and they were asking about his longevity of life. He told he had one a glass of red wine every night, and he eats idli and sambar regularly. But another thing, he said that this subject, like mathematical finance, is very exciting and it must grow. He said mathematics must have applications. This is his words actually. And I asked him what is his biggest accomplishments. You'll be surprised. He told that his biggest accomplishments is 60 or so PhD students he produced in life. That was his biggest accomplishments. And he talked about Kolmogorov and all the how Baradhan was sent by him in the, Baradhan, he put Kolmogorov in Baradhan's thesis committee, and he was taken as a postdoc. All very nice stories. It was so exciting to see him 13 years ago, but he actually looked like 60. And in the evening, we went to a music concert. Actually, Dr. Teja was the chief guest in downtown Charlotte. That is why he came here. He looked like really like 45 or something. His spirit was completely different. Like he really likes classical music, and he looked 20 years younger to me that evening. And I was very happy to host him here for 2 days. And that is my story with him. Another thing, he used this chair and this computer to check his email, but he will not use Internet Explorer. He will use Mozilla Firefox only, 13 years ago. Wow, I was really surprised how much he knows about computer. And he told about the stories. He brought computer to India. He was out by people. This computer was sent back to Russia. All this, like India would have computer 10 years ahead of time if he was supported at that time. I don't know the year, but he said a lot of stories. I mean, he was really into computer. I don't know which year was it, 1950 somewhere. Thank you very much for giving me time.
1950-51, he was at Urbana-Champaign when he learned the assembler language and then wanted to develop computing in ISI.
Yeah.
It was 51.
Yeah, he said he could not come out of his office, could not go to lunch or something whole day because they thought computer will take away the jobs. And, that was the time people are really against computer. But look, because of his vision, where is India now in computer, and he can see things, vision very quickly. Mathematical finance, it should grow in India also, he said. He asked me to give some talks in C.R. Institute. I could not go, of course, but this is kind of, he can see machine learning and everything very fast. Like today, data science and machine learning has taken over every area, but he could see like 20, 30 years ago or so, actually. I was very sharp and very humble person, very humble. And I was very happy to see him here in Charlotte, actually.
Dad always said the name Girao because he was shut in his room, he couldn't get out. So he said the name Girao is named after Rao.
Because Girao. Yeah, I told.
So he said it was because of him they call it Girao.
Yeah, he said there is a Rao in Girao.
Girao.
Yeah, Girao, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jaya Bishwal.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me time.
Yeah, for giving wonderful summary of your visit to Dr. Rao. You also mentioned to me that earlier. So it is a great honor for all of us to meet here. And if anyone remaining to, even want to.
Just a very happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I just
Thank
have
you,
request.
all of you, for having organized today's event so we could celebrate together.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arni.
Thank you, Arni. Thank you, Mataru.
Thanks, J.N.K. Rao.
And J.N.K. Thank you. And
I have one announcement before we sign off. For the next year onwards, there is going to be a committee on the celebration of Dr. Rao's birthday. So the committee will, more formally, because this year, we could not all come out of the morning, celebrate their birthday, but then from next year on, it will be birthday anniversary. It's still a difficult term to use. And there are, some of us, including me, I'm thinking of having, Professor Rao respected his teachers a lot, like Vomi Ramaswamy, Vijay Raghavan, Meenakshi Sundaram. So there could be, some, because Dr. C.R. Rao went from Andhra University to ISI, and because of his strong background in math and learning statistics within a year, due to the influence of Professor Mahalanobis, he learned statistics. So an award can be constituted in the name of Dr. Rao combined with his teachers, a new award, so that, there is a path, how we get, the path of, Andhra University and ISA, the link that can be revived. And some of us are also coming up with a great obituaries. You're going to see it online sometime. And we'll again meet during the next year birthday celebrations. Thank you and namaskar to all.
Thank you very much.
Namaskar to Dr. Rao family.
Thank you, Teja and Veera.
Bye.
Bye.